The NHL offseason is always ripe with speculation and big moves, and this year, Vancouver Canucks winger Brock Boeser has become one of the more intriguing names circulating in trade rumors. One team that keeps coming up in these discussions is the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are looking to add another offensive weapon to their roster as they seek to make a serious Stanley Cup push. Boeser, known for his goal-scoring ability and strong two-way game, could be exactly the type of player the Leafs are searching for. While the Maple Leafs already boast an impressive core of forwards, the potential acquisition of Boeser would add a new dynamic to their lineup. However, the trade wouldn't come without its challenges, as Toronto would need to navigate salary cap limitations and find a package that satisfies the Vancouver Canucks. In this article, we'll explore why the Maple Leafs might be interested in Boeser, what he brings to the table, and how such a trade could reshape the futures of both teams. Brock Boeser, a proven scorer with untapped potential. Brock Boeser has been a key player for the Vancouver Canucks since making his NHL debut in 2017. Drafted 23rd overall in 2015, Boeser quickly established himself as a top-tier goal scorer, netting 29 goals in his rookie season despite missing 20 games due to injury. Over the years, Boeser has developed a reputation for his lethal shot, excellent hockey IQ, and ability to generate offense in all situations. At 6'1" and 208 pounds, Boeser combines size with skill, making him a physical presence on the ice. He has also demonstrated solid defensive play, making him a valuable two-way forward. Although injuries have hampered his career at times, Boeser remains one of the league's more consistent offensive producers. In the 2022-2023 season, he recorded 55 points, 18 goals, 37 assists, in 74 games, while battling through some personal adversity and playing for a Canucks team that struggled throughout the season. For the Maple Leafs, acquiring Boeser would give them another proven scoring option, which would be particularly useful as they look to strengthen their forward depth and diversify their attack. Boeser, still only 26 years old, has yet to hit his prime and could reach new heights in Toronto's offensive system. Why the Maple Leafs need Boeser? The Toronto Maple Leafs have one of the most talented offensive groups in the NHL, headlined by superstars Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, and John Tavares. Despite their firepower, the team has repeatedly struggled to get over the playoff hump, with early exits becoming a common theme in recent years. One issue that has surfaced is their over-reliance on their top forwards, which has led to calls for more secondary scoring. This is where Boeser could play a pivotal role. His ability to score goals in bunches and contribute offensively in different situations would take some of the pressure off the Leafs' top stars. Additionally, Boeser's versatility would allow head coach Sheldon Keefe to experiment with different line combinations, giving Toronto more flexibility in their forward group. Whether Boeser is placed on a line with Matthews and Marner or plays a role on the second or third line, he would instantly improve Toronto's scoring depth. Furthermore, Boeser's presence on the power play could be a game-changer for the Leafs. Toronto's top power play unit has been effective, but adding Boeser's quick release and dangerous shot could make them even more lethal with a man advantage. His ability to get into scoring positions and capitalize on passes from elite playmakers like Matthews or Marner would give opposing penalty kills nightmares. What would it take to bring Boeser to Toronto? While Brock Boeser could be a great fit for the Maple Leafs, acquiring him would be no easy feat. The Leafs are already tight against the salary cap, and Boeser's current contract carries a cap hit of $6.65 million for 2 more seasons. For the Leafs to bring him on board, they would need to offload some salary and likely part with valuable assets in return. One player often mentioned in trade discussions is William Nylander. Nylander, who is coming off a career year with 40 goals, has 1 year remaining on his contract and has been a key contributor for the Leafs. However, with Nylander's next contract likely to demand a significant raise, Toronto may consider moving him to make room for Boeser's salary while addressing other needs on the roster. If Nylander is not part of the trade, the Leafs would need to put together a package that likely includes a high-end prospect, such as Matthew Knies or Nick Robertson, and a first-round draft pick. Vancouver is in the midst of reshaping their roster and would be looking for young players and future assets to help in their rebuilding efforts. Toronto would need to find a balance between strengthening their current roster and not mortgaging too much of their future. Toronto could also explore the possibility of Vancouver retaining part of Bosa's salary to make the cap situation more manageable. However, this would likely come at a higher cost in terms of the assets Toronto would need to send in return. How Bosa fits into Toronto's lineup. If the Leafs are able to land Bosa, he would likely slot into their top 6 forward group, though exactly where he plays would depend on how the coaching staff chooses to configure the lines. A potential combination of Bosa alongside Matthews and Marner would give Toronto one of the most dangerous top lines in the NHL. Bosa's ability to finish plays and capitalize on scoring opportunities would complement Matthews' elite goal-scoring ability and Marner's playmaking prowess. Alternatively, Bosa could be deployed on the second line, playing alongside John Tavares and another winger like Kalle Jarnkrok or William Nylander, if Nylander remains with the team. This would create a formidable second line that could take advantage of favorable matchups and provide the secondary scoring the Leafs have been seeking. Bosa would also be an immediate boost to Toronto's power play, where he could line up in the slot or at the right circle, waiting for cross-ice passes to unleash his devastating shot. Toronto's power play unit, already one of the most potent in the league, would become even more dangerous with the addition of Bosa. Impact on the Maple Leafs Cup chances. If the Toronto Maple Leafs were to acquire Brock Bosa, it would send a clear signal that the team is fully committed to making a serious push for the Stanley Cup. Bosa's skill set and experience would address many of the issues that have plagued the Leafs in recent playoff runs, particularly their reliance on a few key players for offensive production. Bosa's arrival would also give the Leafs more depth and flexibility in their lineup, allowing them to spread out their scoring across multiple lines and create more difficult matchups for opposing teams. His ability to play in various roles, whether on the top line, second line, or on the power play, would provide Toronto with the kind of balance they've been missing. For Bosa, a move to Toronto could be the fresh start he needs. Playing in a market like Toronto, where hockey is king, could reignite his career and give him the platform to reach his full potential. Additionally, the opportunity to compete for a Stanley Cup with a talented core of players could be the perfect motivator for Bosa, who has yet to experience much playoff success. Conclusion: a blockbuster deal that could reshape both teams. While there are still many moving parts, the possibility of Brock Bosa joining the Toronto Maple Leafs is one of the most intriguing storylines of the NHL offseason. For the Leafs, acquiring Bosa could be the final piece they need to break through in the playoffs and contend for a Stanley Cup. For the Canucks, moving Bosa would signal a continued commitment to reshaping their roster for the future. As trade talks heat up, all eyes will be on Toronto and Vancouver to see if a deal can be made. If Bosa does end up in blue and white, it could be a move that defines the Maple Leafs season and potentially their quest for a Stanley Cup.